say that on the internet. Say that.
So Daniel, we never have talked about it.
We've hinted at it.
So I'm going to bring it up today. I felt like today was the day it was going to happen. Black myth Wukong.
Wukong.
So back in when did we record a reaction?
I think it was 2020.
So in 2020,
was it announced during the PlayStation? No, it wasn't. Was it?
No, you just told me about it.
Yeah.
I came over. You said, "Hey, I need you to come over to do a reaction with me." So I came over, and I had no idea what to expect because you didn't watch it yet.
Right.
And it was the early concept. Like it wasn't even a concept. It was like just the early gameplay.
Yep.
Of Black Myth Wukong.
Wukong.
And it was a long video. I mean, I think it was almost 30 minutes of us reacting to this.
Yeah.
And I was very intrigued. When I'm intrigued of something, my mouth either or my jaw either drops or I'm just like dead set on the video. Dan will probably link the original video in the description somewhere. It'll be on the screen. But what we have made hints about is how he went viral off of that video.
Right.
So it did not go viral in the States, though.
No. Not in any Eastern countries.
No. Some random dude put in the comments, "Hey, this video is going viral in China."
Right.
And it's still in the comments today with the link that takes the video to China. So some other person re-uploaded the video to their China YouTube.
Yep.
And there's just how many millions? Like
it's 24 million.
24 million views.
We, as far as I know, or at least the last time I checked, we were the #1 video about Black Myth Wukong and it's a website called Bilibili. Mm-hmm. And so for people who don't know, Bilibili is a website. It's Chinese YouTube because in China, YouTube is banned. So what happens is there's people in Wukong, or not Wukong.
In Wukong.
In Hong Kong.
In the game.
Yeah. There's people in Hong Kong who will find YouTube videos that they think people in China would enjoy, and then they re-upload it onto Bilibili.
We were also the very first people to do a reaction to the game. Because before that, we couldn't find anything.
We were we were at least in the first 3 or 5 people on YouTube to react to it.
Yeah. And the funny part about that was they were saying two brothers react, or like the title was two brothers react to something or another. I'm like, that could be far from truth. We don't look nothing like each other.
So Bilibili has a really awesome feature that I love. And I forget what it's called, but it's called like shout out or something like that, where people can leave comments on top of the video that play over it.
It'll go over,
Yeah, and I think it's like only a certain amount of time. I wish YouTube would do something like that because it was really interesting and very fun once I got the translator to work. And that's why, so every once in a while, we'll call Tyler an oil painting. I think we've called you that a
lot of times. Yeah. And I've made references to it.
Yep. And it's because in China, they're like, look at him. He's like an oil painting.
Yeah. And they thought you looked extremely handsome.
Yes, I was extremely handsome. And they kept calling me, it was obscure to, Western people, unless you know a lot about Chinese mythology, but it was a god of war.
Yeah.
And they said I looked just like so-and-so god of war.
Yep.
And I was like...
So I got the oil painting.
That was when I was skinnier.
And I think there was one comment out of the 20. There's hundreds of thousands of comments on that video.
Yeah.
I think there was one comment that said, you and I look
like brothers.
Well, no, because the video title said we were brothers reacting to it.
That's right.
But they said something about they'd want to date us or something. It was really weird. We saw it come across the screen real fast.
There were a few of those where, because in China, that's a kind of a taboo, is just be like, I want to date them.
Well, also in China, fat white guys are typically mean you're rich.
That's true.
Like, so if you're fat, you're rich. The fatter you are, the richer you are.
That's right.
And if you're white, you're just extremely attractive.
Right.
And if you have red hair, you're even more attractive because they don't see red hair in China.
That's true. Or blonde.
Your hair is more common there.
Yeah.
So
it's closer to common.
So my parents actually took a trip to China once.
Really?
And they went through the airport and they had to take your photo.
Yep.
And they just kept taking pictures of my mom because she was blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yep.
And they just kept taking. My mom's like, my picture's going to end up in a magazine somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure. They do that all the time where they take pictures of people and they'll put them up as some celebrity.
But I think what they were most surprised about is that we were actually intrigued in the game, like excited to play it. And we knew more about Wukong than I think
most Americans for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always done a lot of study of different mythologies. Like I love Egyptian, Chinese. Those Egyptian's my number one favorite, but Egyptian, Chinese, Japanese, Celtic, Nordic, all that kind of stuff.
But I think the better part about that too is we were talking about how this pre-release gameplay is better than most polished games these days, like GTA and
it was either
others.
alpha or pre-alpha.
Yeah, it was really early stages and it looked clean.
Yeah,
it looked like
so
it could
good.
release today and it would have been great.
Yep. Moving on to a less gaming subject, but more back onto a TV subject. Not a Korean show this time, but it is a show on Apple TV, and it's called The Morning Show.
Yeah, with
Jennifer Aniston,
Reese
Steve
Witherspoon, Steve Carell. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. How much have you watched?
Like 2 episodes.
Oh, okay. So we just finished the first season.
Okay.
And the second one's out right now. So we finished, I think it's 9 episodes in the first season and then 12 episodes in the second.
10 in the first, 11 in the second.
Okay, there you go. 10 in the first, 11 in the second. And so, excuse me, that show is 1, ballsy, very, very ballsy, and 2, it really pushes the broad gray area of the Me Too movement. I mean, it like nails it to a T for the most part, including. I mean, they if you haven't watched it, highly suggest it. You only seen the first 2 episodes, highly suggest it. I can't tell you.
Oh, I know it gets better. So, but that the whole like nailing it kind of stuff. That's all that Apple shows have really been doing.
Have they?
Is like,
well,
Yeah, I've heard really good things about other Apple TV shows because there's one with Maya Rudolph, however you say her name, that comedian.
I have no idea.
And apparently it's really, really good. Now that's my next one after we finish this one that I want to try.
Well,
so yeah, Apple TV is doing some good work over there.
Yeah, it's there's a character named Corey, which you should have seen him. Yeah, I think you see him in episode 1. You do. The actor nails him. He's by far, like, don't get me wrong, none of them are bad actors in the show, but he is the shining star of the show. He nails the character so perfectly. He's like the perfect comedic relief as well as the anti-hero. He is just cream of the crop. I have no idea who the actor is. I've never seen him before, but man, he nailed it. Nailed it.
So while we're on this, is there anything else you would?
What'd you say, Erica?
I was looking up who the actor is.
Oh, okay.
Is that all you want to say about it?
Yeah.
So have you, on the topic of Apple TV,
Okay.
have you watched Severance yet?
No. I've
Have you
that's
heard
good, too.
anything about it?
I've heard it's good. I have no idea what it's
I can't
about.
spoil it for you.
Preach.
You have to watch it. Like, when I say you have to, I mean it needs to be probably after Erica watches what she wants to watch. Like, just because she said she already had one lined up.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to say you got to watch it before that.
Well, that's okay.
Bi-
Billy Crudup.
Billy
Oh, he plays a
Crudup.
lot of stuff.
Does
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, he plays a lot of stuff. But Severance basically is like a whole show about work-life balance
Okay.
and how this company goes about solving work-life balance. And it's Ben Stiller is the one who created it.
Oh, really?
Yep. And what's cool is he's created enough content for this show to go, what? Rachel, was it like 7 seasons? Ben Stiller created Severance to like enough content for it to be able to go 7 seasons or whatever.
Is it 7 seasons?
I think it's 7. I think it's up
I
there.
know it was multiple seasons. I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah. I think it was up to 7 seasons. Like he can make content for this.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's hard to follow. You really have to pay attention. Like you can't play on your phone when you're watching it. But when you get the grasp of it, you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Like at the end of the first season, I'm ready. Like it makes you ready for season 2 to drop tomorrow.
Nice.
And it's really frustrating because it's not here yet.
Yeah.
Because COVID screwed up everything.
Well, there's a lot
And
of these.
I just flagged this podcast.
No,
saying that.
Nope, that's acceptable now. That has become acceptable terminology. Believe it or not, they went from anytime you said anything negative about COVID, weirdly, except for like COVID's bad. It used to be that you get flagged and.
But now we're going to get the little title at the bottom that says,
maybe.
For more information about COVID, click
I mean, I don't, they usually put that on videos that they deem as misinformation adjacent.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody knows COVID messed up everything. There's nothing misinformation about that.
Yep.
Nothing good came from it. So, not nothing, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, Severance, highly recommend after you get done with whatever you guys are watching currently.
Morning shows right now.
You will flip and love it.
So that brings me on to nothing adjacent to what you were talking about.
Sorry, I'm going on my phone while you say this because I have to show you something for a topic, but you keep going.
So you beat Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes, I did.
So what is your final rating?
Have you beaten it?
No, don't give me any spoilers. So people who know me, if I play a game, I go hard on it. And then if something happens where I can't play it for a while, or, something like that of that nature, it's not that I lose interest in it. It's like I lose that itch to play it. And then I always have an itch to do like multiplayer. I love multiplayer games because it's that competitiveness in me that just needs to get out. And so I slowly, when I was able to start playing it and I was playing it, then I jumped to Hunt, and then Sons of the Forest came out, which is fantastic.
Don't have PC, can't play it. Anyway. Okay. Rachel, do you remember what I rated it?
Maybe like a 7.
So I think I rated it
a 7.
So I'm going to move it up to probably an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
If it was a 5-star rating, I obviously rated it 5 stars.
Right.
But if we were going based off 10, it was like an IGN review or whatever, I'd have to say 8 out of 10.
Okay.
For the sole purpose of it got to the point where the content started to run dry.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is a lot of the side quests started to become repetitive.
All right.
A lot of the vocal cues and audio stuff started to become repetitive. I started hearing the same thing over and over and over again, no matter where I went, and it was really starting to get really annoying.
Right.
The gameplay and everything, great. Flippin' love gameplay. World aesthetics,
right.
Fantastic. I don't like grinding in games to beat it.
Okay.
And if you don't reach, this is not a spoiler, this is going to help you out. If you don't reach level 34 by the time you fight the final boss, you can't beat the game.
Really?
You have to grind out, doing other side missions and other stuff to get to level 34 to be able to do the final mission of the game.
Okay.
And I don't like that. I don't like that cap because it doesn't affect gameplay any. Like,
so you have, like, does the game physically
it forces
make you?
You cannot do the next mission until you're level 34.
So they tell you that in the beginning of the game that there's certain side missions and stuff and exploration that needs to be done to complete the game. And that's unfortunate that it's 34 now. For somebody like, I'm already 34, 36 or something like that.
Okay.
And I'm 60% of the way through the main story. And I'm 70% of the way through all the quests. So for me, that's not a big deal. But I can understand that being really problematic for somebody who doesn't have a ton of time to play and they just want to go sit down and do the main stories.
And for me, that's how it was because I work 9 to 5.
Right.
Well, I work 8 to 5. So when I come home, after I've eaten dinner and spent time with my wife, where I actually get to sit down and play, it's only for an hour or 2 hours at max.
Right.
So obviously I'm just trying to get through the story so that way on the weekends I can go through and just leisurely take my time on the side missions and stuff. So I beat the game and Rachel was there and I was like, she's like, oh, you beat it? I was like, no, I got to be level 34 to beat this stupid game. It really ticked me off.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the other aspect too is a lot of the stuff does not get explained to you in that game.
Really?
So have you done the puzzles inside of Hogwarts where you have to move blocks around?
I've done on most of the puzzles.
Depulso puzzles or whatever.
I've done most of them, yeah.
So when you do those, I only thought when you mess up, you have to reset.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I thought, okay, and I knew that to reset, I could just kill myself, like just have the block crush me or something like that.
Yeah, you could do that, but
it doesn't tell me you could shoot the little spindle things to reset the game.
Oh, I figured that out literally.
Right. I didn't know what those were because I didn't need to shoot them. Like I had no reason to I was like, oh, that's just a cool lamp. Like I had no idea that, oh, if I shoot that, it resets. It also got to a point where on those missions, I would get so annoyed. I wouldn't look them up. I would just cheat. So essentially, like there's a part where there's a giant gap you have to cross to get to the chest on the end. Well, I couldn't get the blocks to stack the way I want, and it was really starting to irritate my soul.
Okay.
So it got to the point where I just stood on the ledge and I pulled the block towards me, and my foot was hanging. No, my foot was hanging off enough to where the block just picked me up and took me to the chest.
Oh.
And I got it that way. I was done. I had enough. And a lot of like the puzzles just get real repetitive. A lot. So like the Merlin trials.
Merlin trials, that's like one of the biggest complaints that people have because there's 96 of them.
Yeah. And they're all repetitive.
And the only reward, even after completing all of them, is just more inventory space.
Yeah.
And so I get that. Unfortunately.
And the only thing you need inventory space for is your clothing items. And I just sell everything anyway.
Right. So unfortunately, the game is cursed by a dev team that wanted to do more, meaning that they added more content, which of course equals more repetition because that's just going to be how it is. There's only so much magic in that first experience. So when you add more content, you're going to naturally have to repeat certain things. And so... yeah, for certain players and for certain play styles, that can get old. For me, it doesn't bother me, but like the Merlin, there's one or two that I can't figure out how to complete them, and I don't want to look it up.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, it doesn't net gain me anything to complete them besides, a handful of goodies and that kind of stuff.
And I did like the fact, there's a lot of things I did like. There's they're for the Jackdaw missions. I don't know if you've done that yet. Have you done the Jackdaw mission?
What do you do?
Where they're different for each house you play as.
Jackdaw?
It's a Jackdaw mission. He's a guy. He's a ghost.
Okay, with the head?
Yeah, and you have to go and you fight the big sentinel things.
Yeah.
So you did that?
Yeah.
So I do like that for each house you play as, those are different.
Oh, that's
those
pretty
missions
cool.
are different.
All right.
And you're who you what?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor?
Yeah.
So like for Hufflepuff, you get to go to Azkaban.
Really?
Yeah. Yup.
Whoa.
Freaking sick. And you get to see the Dementors flying in the air and they come to attack you.
That's cool.
Yeah, and only Hufflepuff gets it. So you have to play as Hufflepuff to go to Azkaban.
Wow.
So, but the other thing is, so that's why I rated 8, because it's not a game, like, obviously I'll probably go back and play it, but it's just there's a lot of, I don't like repetitiveness in games.
Right.
Like, that's why I struggle with the Assassin's Creed games a lot, is because they're very repetitive.
Yeah.
And I heard this from a coworker today, so I have not looked it up to confirm it, so this is just Tyler's rumors at this stage.
Okay.
Supposedly, a second game has already been confirmed. Supposedly.
Really?
Like I said, supposedly. This is a rumor. And we'll have to fact check this later. So, but they're looking to turn Hogwarts Legacy into a series, a game series, not just one game. And apparently, they are going to be creating a TV show based off of the games. The games are canon, obviously, with the main storyline. And so there's plans to create a TV show based off of the games, which I think would be pretty cool if it's true.
Yeah. That would be pretty awesome.
Yep.
I would love to see. So I know it's called Hogwarts Legacy, but the one African chick, she talks about the
magical school in Africa.
Right, and apparently it's the biggest one in the world.
Yep.
And
it's the only one that teaches
wandless
magic. Yeah.
And so that would be really cool too.
Did you notice? Did you notice the house elves know wandless magic?
Yeah,
I've always I always knew that was a thing.
Yep.
But when she was talking about how that school teaches wandless magic, and then you start noticing the house elves, the movies and everything, they never use a wand. I'm like, interesting.
Well, and right, so that's obviously a little nod to history.
Correct. I know.
And there's even more in depth with that kind of stuff because they talk about how the wand is more powerful. So it's a more powerful.
Control the magic more.
Right. And that's why. So I really want to talk about it, but I feel like it's going to be a spoiler. What? I'm confused why everybody started laughing.
So you can't see it on camera, but our phone tile just fell off the wall over here.
I hate these things. I actually love them, but I hate that one section of them. For whatever reason, that one diamond always falls down. It's never happened in front of us, though, so that's kind of cool.
It's the ghosts.
Yep. But, yeah, I don't feel like it's really a spoiler. So everybody knows the main bad guy is Goblin, or that's not what they're called.
It's a goblin, yeah.
Oh, they are goblins, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yep, they are. I know this. I know the game. I know the history of the world. Anyways, so what turned him evil was a wizard dropped a wand, and he picked it up to give it to him, and then the wizard basically beat him to death. And that's what made him hate wizards.
Okay.
That's not really a spoiler for the game. That's just lore. So that's why I felt okay saying that. But so yeah.
I mean, that's not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not that far in the game, so I can't say nothing. But
Oh, well, that's a spoiler. That apparently what I said was incorrect.
no, I don't know. I don't know that much about that part of the story.
Oh, okay. Well, you said that's not. Anyway, so all right. You said you had something to show me.
I gotta find it first. Anything else you want to talk about while I'm searching and being a bad host with you?
I have nothing else I want to talk about.
Seriously?
Oh yeah,
listen. My coworker talks about. So he just went on paternity leave. He's not gonna know what this podcast is.
Okay.
He's a really cool dude. I'll talk to him up later. But he just went on paternity leave, and he told me when he's gone, he's gonna just get his fiance and him just Crumbl Cookie all the time, and he looks up the menu every day it updates.
Yeah.
And tells me what they are, and I get really jealous.
So have you guys tried it yet?
No, I don't even know if she knows what it is.
So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not as amazing as everybody says it is.
It's very good.
Now, granted, we live in Little Detroit, so there's a good chance that we get a worse version than, the rest of the world. But it was very, very good.
I didn't wear my sweater today.
I was wear it. The way that people, when we watch TikToks of people reacting to eating them, I expected it to be like ball melting good. You know what I mean?
That blueberry one was delicious.
That was.
And that chocolate one was heavenly.
It was.
And the cookie dough one was pretty good. And the sugar cookie, I think to me, was a very good sugar cookie.
The sugar, not the sugar cookie, the cookie dough that we had, because we had cookie dough, sugar cookie. We had blueberry, lemon, something. And then we had, it's like chocolate.
Right here.
Chocolate melt, something another. The chocolate and the sugar cookie, I felt like I could make myself. Like, it didn't seem any better than what I could do myself.
No, it was very good.
But the blueberry one and the cookie dough one, I don't think I could make myself.
You do realize that Crumbl Cookie is only in our city?
No.
No, it's not.
It isn't?
No.
No.
I thought Crumbl Cookie was just
No, it's a chain.
a local. Oh, is it really?
It's so famous that people order it and you get it delivered weekly every time it updates.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
So but you're gonna hear some when you're editing. I was talking to Rachel side while you're talking.
You son of a biscuit.
So basically, I said I forgot to wear my sweater today. I was gonna wear a specific sweater.
Which
you
one?
said Little Detroit, and so it made me think of it.
Oh.
I was gonna wear the sweater that says where we're from.
Oh.
It'll be in one of the podcasts episodes,
Okay.
so we can stop calling it Little Detroit eventually.
I mean,
but
people
as
can
of right
figure it
now,
out.
we're gonna still call it Little Detroit.
It's so
'cause I
easy.
came
If
up with
somebody really wanted to know, they could just Google Little Detroit.
it. And get the reference.
Yeah. Yeah, because
We are known for walleyes and hens. Anyway, you'll get a clue.
true.
Listen here. This is what we're gonna get. Jared, you cannot put it in the comments. I know you're gonna listen to this. You cannot put it in the comments.
true.
Anybody else who knows this can't put it in the comments. I'm gonna give a hint every episode of where we're from. Just something about our area.
okay.
And see if people can guess it just by Googling. If they're smart, they'll Google it and figure it out.
I have a good hint.
So this will be our first hint ever. Go ahead.
All right, so this is an obscure hint. So, in the TV show Raising Hope, fantastic show, by the way. In the TV show Raising Hope, the main character, Jimmy, was known for wearing one of our sports team's T-shirts.
Really?
Yes, the
Interesting.
baseball one.
I didn't even know that.
So that gives you some good hints.
Yeah. I got a good one for next time.
All right. You can probably
Okay.
do it now if you wanted, but
Huh?
no. Go ahead. What you got?
Try Crumbl
A
Cookie.
quote.
Try Crumbl Cookie.
A quote
All right.
was born in our city. And it was made famous.
Oh,
And it was
That's
even
the
on the famous TV show, Batman.
it was also on the famous TV show Hey Arnold and so many different things.
I know.
I was actually talking to Carnage a couple days ago, and he's like, "Hey, I heard this quote here." He's like, "Is that show like from Michigan or Ohio?" I'm like, "No, that's a
It's
famous quote
that
worldwide."
started here, yeah.
Right.
And everybody knows of it. We live in a popular city that everybody tends to hate on, but
Well, small, popular, and
yeah.
full of crime.
So I reached out. I saw this company. It popped up on Instagram.
Got there. You're gonna say Nick Cage.
No. I reached out to this company to, they create gaming logos.
Okay.
I was like, that's cool. We have a gaming podcast. We kind of want to change up our Dangy Toast. So I was like, it was $15. I'm like, oh, I could spare $15. It'll be great. I am angry. So this is what I put. It has you fill out 4 questions, okay? The first
Okay.
question was name. And I said Danger Toast. Because that's our name.
Yep.
Colors. Normal toast colors for the toast. And chrome metal for toaster. And my main colors are orange and like olive green.
Not quite like olive green, but it's
fairly close.
enough.
But I figured if they can get in the ballpark, they'll be
Yeah.
fine. Picture. This is where I describe what I want. Piece of toast with a skull and crossbones burned into it, sticking out of a retro toaster in 8-bit.
That's a hard one to do, but okay.
So they're known for doing cartoon
Right.
gaming logos. So I was like, even if they don't do the 8-bit, but they do everything else, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Dan, I got the logo back.
Now, real quick, did you do this on Fiverr?
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to say the company because they
I think I
do make
know.
good logos, but they ticked me off, and they want you to pay them $5 every time you want to redesign, update the thing, fix
Jeez.
it, basically. And they also want you to pay, they don't tell you this, they want you to pay $50 to be able to actually use it to make money off of. I did not spend the $50. I only did the
Obviously.
15. And I was going to if it looked good, if
Right.
I got your approval, obviously. But when I got it back and it was absolutely nothing that I described, I was like, the heck, I ain't paid no $5 to get this fixed.
All right. I'm ready for it.
Okay, here's your gaming logo. It's so bad. I
All
didn't
right.
like it.
Right when I look at it, it's going to pop up here. Right when I react, that's when you're going to see it.
Ready?
I'm ready. Drum roll. What?
Does that look like anything on my description?
Okay, I see it. But here's the problem.
It's not bad.
It's not.
It's just not what I asked for.
It's almost kind of close. Every element's there. No, there's no green. There's no green whatsoever.
Yep.
The orange is
Pretty good.
pretty close to correct.
Yeah. Where'd the yellow come from?
Don't know where the yellow came from. That is actually close to our accent color, by the way. The black is darker than our actual black. I love and hate it so much. And it's like, it's almost good. It's not what you asked for in the slightest, but it's almost good.
And they
The
want
phone around?
I'm going to bring it over to you guys.
you to pay them $5 to fix it. It's a scam. It's a scam.
Yeah, that's
Daniel, it's a scam. They just want $5 more out of me.
Where's the 8-bit?
Well, I figured the 8-bit wouldn't come. I just tried it.
So
I wasted $15 for something that wasn't what I asked for. Not in the slightest. I feel like what happened to you in Fiverr.
yeah. What
The fact that you had to have two people create your logo and just use the assets from one and then fix it.
Actually, the guy who created our logo wasn't even a logo designer. He's a comic book designer. And so so you go to him to make like retro comic book style or like retro cartoon style advertising. He never does logos.
Oh.
Which is a shame because he did a great job on ours.
There's things about it that were great, but
yeah. If I would have been more
the
specific, it would have been even better for the logo.
the toast was the issue with the toast, the bottom of it, that was the guy that made our intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the one who, so I had to pay him an additional like $30 for him he basically had to copy what was there and then finish off the toast as an individual asset.
Mind you, these people we're talking about can't get offended because we paid them for a product.
Right.
And we're reviewing it right now.
That's true. And we're also not mentioning names, but yeah, so for he completed the asset of the toast, but didn't finish the texturing or anything. It's not even like perfectly shaped like a toast. That's why we don't use it anymore.
Yep.
Because it's just oh man, I could go on a rant about how, okay, I'm going to do it. I asked him for a translucent background. What did he give us? White. Now, is that so bad because I can chroma key it out for any of the nerds out there who understand editing? No, but because of the way that he compressed it, I can't chroma key out the white without it bleeding into the actual image itself. So anytime I chroma key out the white, which you would think should be able to come out by itself, but because it's a lower resolution, you little floppy wall thing, because it's a lower resolution, I can't do it. That's one. Two, it's not even centered.
Is it even a vector image?
The vector image was set. He said you'll have to pay me $35 for me to create a vector image so I can create the animation. So I paid a total of like $90, I think, for it.
And what did Carnage say about this?
Ooh, he was like, give me his name, I'll find him, because they're both from Pakistan. He's like, that was enough for him to live for like 5 months.
Yeah.
And so he's like, this is trash. I'm like, I know, but what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm not going to give you the guy's name. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's not even centered. So every time I actually wanted to use it, it took me a solid like 20 minutes to like line it all up. And then I'd have to do all my little negotiating of the keys to make it even look remotely okay. Yep. And then finally I got to the point where I was like, this is not worth it. The payoff is not there.
Nope.
So.
And you wasted $90.
It was significantly better than the first one that I bought. The first one I bought.
I forgot about that. Do you still have that?
I'm sure I do. I have them all. They're on Fiverr.
We should play them as shorts.
I'll put up, while we're talking about all this, I'll have them playing.
So bad.
They were.
It was not even close.
So bad.
It wasn't even close to what we wanted.
Yeah. It's unfortunately you get what you pay for. The problem is they know it, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm paying for in most of the countries from which the artists come from is good money. But in the US, it's not like amazing. So they're taking that and they're like, well, this guy in US standards is cheap by hiring me, so I'm going to give him a cheap product in return. Not everyone is like that, but a lot of them are. Yeah. And a lot of them also don't even use their own work in their images.
And a lot of the work you had to end up doing yourself anyway. So didn't even matter in the end.
Nope.
But I'm trying to get us a new logo. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted on the adventures I'm on.
Something I would suggest is just reaching out to people that you know. If you know anybody who's had logo work done. Problem is most of the people who I know who have actually had logo work done, it's that very generic style streamer logo that I can't stand. That's, it's the cartoony, she look a lot like what that guy gave you.
Yeah.
And so
we'll figure it out. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we'll get there. But all right, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, sir, Daniel boy.
I think I'm good as well. Ladies, you have anything you want to say?
They don't like our topics anymore.
That's true. They hate us.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you give it a thumbs up, give us a 5-star rating if you're listening on whatever platform you might be listening on.
I did 5 and my hand blended into the wall behind me. Gotta bring it down into the color so people could see it.
But yeah, make sure you subscribe. Do it again. I want to see it again. It's gone. It's just like a ghost.
Can't see my fingers.
Yeah. They blend in pretty perfectly. But yeah. Make sure you do all the things I said before, and of course,
stay dangerous, folks.
Stay toasty, my friends. Bye-bye.
Bye. It just sounds so dark.
Say that.